For those of you who are not, we are located in Dayton, Ohio. Dayton is located just north of Cincinnati and to the west of Columbus, Ohio. Dayton is pretty strategically located, very easy access to major highways. We also are lucky enough to have Wright-Patterson Air Force Base right here in Dayton, Ohio. In addition to that, a couple major universities, Wright State University, University of Dayton. The Dayton area is actually ranked among the top 10 most affordable and undervalued housing markets in the United States. Dayton is, like I said, home to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, which actually is Ohio's largest single-site employer in the entire state. A lot of people don't realize, but this is a big information technology area. We're actually ranked 7th largest information technology area in the country. And we're actually second behind the Silicon Valley for the number of science and engineering PhDs in the area. All these things kind of combine to make Dayton a great place for real estate investors. That combination of affordable house prices, stable rents, allow us to generate immediate positive returns and cash flow in this market, which is what the name of the game is these days for your savvy real estate investors. Some of you may be asking, well, how does this work? Well, first, we're looking for houses in certain target neighborhoods, and what we want to do is we want to buy the worst-looking house on the best street possible. Once we do that, we schedule a complete renovation on that house to bring it up to what we consider triple net houses standards. That list is going to be different from house to house, so we go in and actually generate a specific list to each house. Depending on what that house needs to bring it up to a certain level of standards and quality. Then we sell the house to an investor once the renovations are complete. Most of the time we are putting houses under contract with investors before renovations are complete. What we do there is we put a contingency in place for your benefit, contingent upon those renovations being completed prior to closing. This has just happened because of demand. We're unable to get houses renovated as quickly as we're selling them. So that has led to the need to start allowing our investors to put houses under contract prior to renovations being totally complete. Once the house is complete and you close on the property, Triple Net Houses then leases the house back from you immediately on a 10-year triple net lease. Next question for some of you may be, well, what does triple net mean? The triple net concept has been used in the commercial side of real estate for years and years. Basically, on a triple net lease, the tenant is responsible for paying the operating costs associated with the property being leased. What that means in this instance is that since your lease is with Triple Net Houses, once we lease the property back from you, Triple Net Houses is then responsible for paying property taxes on that property, for paying hazard insurance on the property, as well as maintaining and repairing the property at our cost. So once you make that initial purchase, you know that there won't be any additional out-of-pocket expenses associated with that property that you have to worry about during that 10-year lease period. We also will manage the property during that time in-house with our professional property management team. What this means to you, the investor, it just basically means a predictable, positive monthly cash flow and return and a truly turnkey investment. No surprises, and the peace of mind knowing that your property is not only generating a positive cash flow and income, but also being taken care of and maintained properly throughout that 10-year lease period. I'm going to go into a couple of the different methods of purchase real quick. There are a couple different ways of purchasing real estate, obviously, especially when it comes to investment property. The first and foremost is obviously cash. We have a number of cash buyers who simply prefer to take that money that they may be investing in other sources where they've got money in an account that's earning minimal interest. They figure, okay, let's put that money into a triple net house. At least there I know I'm making a positive cash flow and a positive return on my money rather than losing money or making minimal appreciation and interest in the stock market or in bonds or CDs. We'd also have a number of customers who are purchasing through their self-directed IRA. This is a great way to diversify your portfolio and your investment portfolio. If you do have qualified funds in an IRA or in some type of an investment account, that money can be set up through a self-directed IRA, and you can actually purchase real estate with that self-directed IRA. In this instance, your payments, as far as your triple net lease payments, would be sent directly to the IRA instead of you receiving that cash flow monthly. And in doing so, your tax implications of that income is actually put off until the time at which you tap into that IRA. 1031 exchange is another method of purchase. We have a number of people who own properties in different parts of the country. We work with investors from all across the United States, and actually are starting to work with some international investors as well. For domestic investors, if they are looking to do a 1031 exchange and they have a property, a lot of times that property that they may be selling in another state, they can turn around and pick up multiple triple net houses and increase their cash flow dramatically, all at the same time, decreasing their amount of responsibility on that investment property. And then also, a lot of people don't realize this, but there is still access to conventional financing on investment property these days. I know a lot of us have heard all of the nightmares recently and the changes that have been taking place in the lending industry. However, for well-qualified investors, typically with a minimum of 20% down payment, there is access to conventional financing, and we do have those resources that we can hook you up with. We don't offer financing in-house, but we do have a couple local resources that we use on a regular basis for financing. So if anybody's interested in that information, feel free to contact me after the webinar, and I'd be happy to forward you information for the lenders that we use on a regular basis. Just an example of a cash deal, just to give you a basic scenario of a $60,000 house. If you purchase this house in cash, your triple net lease payments would be $5,460, which equates to a 9.1% cash-on-cash return. Not too many places that you can go put your cash these days where you're going to earn a 9.1% return bottom line. So this is a great resource for anybody who's trying to make at least a nice, decent return on their investment and their money that they've got. Second, an example of conventional financing. Taking the same $60,000 house, 20% down would be equivalent to $12,000 down payment. Now in this scenario, the seller would pay 2% of the purchase price towards closing costs. So you may have some additional funds that you have to come up with in closing costs, but the bulk of this is going to be your 20% down payment. So in essence, you're financing $48,000. Your triple net lease payments are the same as they were in the last example, $5,460 per year, which is $455 per month. But in this instance, you do have a mortgage payment to make on this property since you financed it. That mortgage payments for the year would be $3,453. So your cash flow on an annual basis actually does go down because you're making a mortgage payment. But the aspect of leveraging, as you can see, increases that return to about a 16.72% cash-on-cash return. Reason for that is you've only put in 20% down payment into the transaction, so your actual cash-on-cash return increases in this scenario. So anybody that's looking for that aspect of leverage and wants to really increase their actual return versus their cash flow, financing may be a good option. For those of you looking to maximize your cash flow, maybe you're looking at this as this is my retirement income or this is what I want to replace my income with, then the cash or the cash route may be the better route to go if you're looking to maximize that cash flow from a month-to-month basis. I want to quickly go over the triple net houses renovation process just to let you know what happens on a typical house. But first, like I said before, we're going to generate a list of renovations that is specific to each property. Each house is unique and each house is different, and we're going to treat that house as a unique opportunity and going to renovate that house accordingly. Once on that list, we have a dedicated team of licensed contractors who will do the work on the property up to our standards. We are inspecting these properties, inspecting the work that's done prior to closing, and sending you, if you're not able to come in town to look at the finished house and you need to close from a distance, which we do on a number of occasions, what we do is we will set up a virtual tour on the property and send you that virtual tour showing you the finished house prior to closing. Again, this is how we verify that the renovations are complete prior to closing. Of course, anybody that wants to come in town to look at the property in person prior to closing, we welcome that as well. And I'm just going to show you a few pictures of a recent renovation. Now, this one is one of the more extreme renovations. All the houses that we pick up are not in this bad of condition to start with, but I want to give you an idea of what kind of transformation is typical on a triple net house, and the level of standards that we adhere to when it comes to a finished product. And you'll see that pretty good in these examples. This is a house that we purchased at 2100 University Place here in Dayton, Ohio. As you can see from that, the initial picture, the house was pretty much let go. I mean, it was everything was overgrown. It was vacant. You can see the lawn not only was just taken over, but the house was taken over with vines. The roof was in poor condition. The brick needed repair. All the windows needed repair. Pretty much a total renovation from ground up. And you see what it looked like once we were done with it. Again, new roof, new windows. All the brick was completely repaired. All the exterior trim either replaced or repaired and painted. New landscaping. Looks like a completely different house. This, if you can tell from that picture, was actually the garage beforehand. Completely unusable, completely overgrown. We spaced it back to life and made it a usable, workable garage again, as you can see from this picture. Moving into the inside of the house, the picture on the top there was a picture of the sunroom off the side of the house, and the bottom picture was one of the bedrooms upstairs. So you can see the level of disrepair that the house was in to begin with. Again, most items, nothing too scary, but it looks bad, obviously. You can see from the picture afterwards, that's the sunroom with new windows, new blinds, new tile floors, all renovated trim, and the walls have been all repaired and painted. And here's that same bedroom upstairs. You can see all the old paint and wallpaper stripped away, the walls refinished, painted, flooring refinished. Basically, you have the charm and the character of an older house, but with all the components and features of a newer house. This was a picture of the kitchen beforehand, and then here's a picture of the kitchen. You can see we put in all new cabinets, new countertops, new fixtures, new tile floor, again, new windows, completely refinished all the walls and ceilings throughout. This picture was actually taken as we were starting to tear out the bathroom. This is one of the two bathrooms that this house had up on the second floor, and this is obviously a picture after the fact. All completely new fixtures, replumbed, new electrical. Basically a brand new bathroom. And that we're going to get in the actual tour of houses portion of the webinar today. She's flashing up on the screen now are some houses that we have sold here in the last year or so. And with that, we'll go ahead and get right into the tour. Again, bear in mind that a number of the houses that we're going to see on the tour today have not been renovated. I'll mention it. I'll let you know as we go through each slide which houses have and which houses have not been renovated yet. And bear in mind that anything that has not been renovated, we would put a contingency in place if you're interested in that property. Typically, renovations are completed anywhere from 30 to 60 days from contract. So usually within about a 1 to 2 month time frame from the time we put the house under contract, we're going to have that house ready to close for you. So let's go ahead and get into the tour. First house. This house is actually finished and actually is already tenant occupied at 1607 Elaine in Trotwood, Ohio. It's a 3-bedroom, 1-bath, 864 square feet on a slab. You can see the price on this house is $53,000. So fairly affordable house. Your triple net lease payments on this property would be $402 per month. So anybody who may be interested in more detail on this property, again, feel free to call or email me after the webinar or anytime over the weekend. I'd be happy to send you additional pictures and any additional information that you're looking for on any of the properties that you see in the tour today. Moving on, next property, 1616 Huffman Avenue in Dayton, Ohio. This is a little bit larger of a house, larger two-story, 3-bedroom, 1-bath, 1,344 square feet. This does have a full basement. As you can see from the picture, it's got a nice deck across the back. This one's priced at $58,000. Again, one of the more affordable houses that we have right now. Your triple net lease payments on this property would be $440 per month. The house is currently tenant occupied and ready to go, so this is one that we could close pretty much immediately. So anybody that's looking for something quick, they want to start generating that cash flow quickly, this would be one that we could close on a cash deal within probably about a week to 2 weeks. If you're looking at financing, typically a minimum of 30 days for the financing to go through. So anybody that would like more detail or anything on this property, feel free to let me know. Next house, 3713 Beckley Avenue in Dayton, Ohio. This house is also finished and is currently tenant occupied. This is a 3-bedroom, 1-bath, just under 1,000 square feet of finished space, and also on a slab. Priced again at $53,000. This is going to be one of the more affordable houses that we have on the tour today. Your triple net lease payments at $53,000 is $402 per month. I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next one. This house is a newer house that we just picked up. Has not been renovated yet. C1 Drive in Trotwood, Ohio. As you can see from the pictures, renovations have not started on that. It is a 3-bedroom, 1.5-bath, 1,170 square feet. It is also on a slab with an attached garage. Your triple net lease payments on this house will be $455 per month. Looks like the price got erased off the slide, but the price is $60,000 on this house. That's $60,000. And again, your triple net lease payments are $455 per month. Because renovations have not started on this one yet, this one would most likely be a May or June delivery for completion. So anybody that's interested in this property, we can't take it off the market now, get it under contract, and you'd be looking at, like I said, probably a late May or early June completion on this house. Next house, another brick ranch located at 1 Hill Point Street in Trotwood, Ohio. Again, you can see from the pictures that this house has not yet been renovated, so bear in mind that the pictures you see are before. Another 3-bedroom, 1-bath, just under 1,100 square feet of finished space. It does have a 1-car attached garage. Your price on this house is $64,000, which equates to triple net lease payments of $485 per month. Again, since renovations have not started on this property, we're probably looking at, if somebody were to put this house under contract here soon, we would put probably a late May or early June completion on that house. So if anybody wants more detail on that property, it's a nice little 3-bedroom brick ranch. Please let me know. You can see a little bit of a trend here. Another 3-bedroom brick ranch, 4 Inland Avenue in Dayton. This is another 3-bedroom, 1-bath, 1,040 on a slab. This one does have a detached garage. Again, as you see, the house has not been renovated yet. Structurally in pretty good shape and a lot of conics. But again, we'll be bringing this house up to the same standards as you saw in the pictures of the house that we went through as an example. This is $60,000. Your triple net lease payments are $455 per month. And again, this one you're probably looking at about a 30-day renovation at most. So we'd probably be looking at sometime late May to into June for completion on this property. Next house is at 18 West Worley Avenue in Trotwood, Ohio. This is a 2-bedroom sided ranch home. You can see 2-bedroom, 1-bath, 1,107 square feet. It does have a partial basement. And one unique thing about this house is it has 2 different garages. You can see from the pictures it has a 1-car attached. But back to the left of the house, there's also a one-car detached garage. House is not in too bad a shape to begin with, but does obviously still need renovated. We'd probably be looking at, again, completion for sometime in May to June. If somebody were to be interested in this, let me know. We can give you a more targeted date for completion. And again, if you need any more details on this property or any of the other properties, don't hesitate to pick up the phone or shoot me an email with a list of houses that you need more detail on. Price at $61,000, your triple net lease payments would be $463 per month. Next house, a little bit larger brick ranch than the last few. At 7511 Old Dayton Road in Trotwood. This is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, just under 1,300 square feet. This one sits on about an acre of land, so it has a little bit more of a country setting, even though it's still very close to town. You can see it has a 2-car attached garage. Again, from the pictures, you can tell that the house has not been renovated yet. Again, we'd probably be looking at a 30 to 45 day completion time on this house from start to finish. So anybody that's interested in putting this house under contract, we can give you, probably an approximation for closing. I would say sometime in June. Priced at $90,000, this is going to give you a nice cash flow, $683 per month, due to the $90,000 price tag. Next house, this is one that we just picked up. In fact, I don't have any interior pictures on it yet, so I apologize for that. But house is located at 138 West Parkwood Drive in Dayton, Ohio. You can see from the pictures it's a nice colonial-looking 2-story. The picture down below is actually the school that's right across the street. Brand new school complex right across the street from this house. So a great location. It's a 3-bedroom, 1-bath. Pretty decent sized house at 1,470 square feet. It does have a full basement and a detached garage. At $65,000, this one's a real bargain. Again, renovations have not started, but we'd probably be looking at a completion sometime in June for anybody that's interested in this property. Your triple net lease payments on this house would be $493 per month. Couple more. This next house is at 4 West Worley Avenue in Trotwood, Ohio. As you can see again from the pictures, the renovations have not started on this house. This one would be a pretty quick renovation, probably about a 30-day renovation from start to finish. 3-bedroom bath, just over 1,250 square feet of finished space. This house also does flate, and as you can see on the left-hand side of the house, a carport. Priced at $64,000, your triple net lease payments on this property are $470 per month. And again, when I tell you these triple net lease payments, these are net figures to you. So you know that nothing will affect that bottom line. Any additional expenses associated with the property would be the responsibility of Triple Net Houses, not your responsibility. So that $470 a month is the actual net amount that comes to you. Last house we have today on our tour is 1446 Norville Court in Dayton. This house is actually already under renovation, probably about a week or two away from completion. As you can see, the outside picture there is an older picture. That one I have not taken a new picture yet, but the inside you can see the new carpet's in. The house is pretty much painted throughout. New bathrooms, new kitchen have all been completed. You can see some construction material sitting around. The house is not 100% done yet, but I would expect within the next 1 to 2 weeks this house will be complete. It's a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,225 square feet, priced at $65,000. Your triple net lease payments would be $493 per month. So this is another one for anybody interested. We could close fairly quickly. If anybody wants more detail on the property, please let me know. I'm going to go ahead and look up for any questions that anybody might have. And again, if you're uncomfortable asking questions in this forum, feel free to email me or pick up the phone and give me a call with any specific questions. I'd be happy to answer any questions that anybody has. My number, my toll-free number, and my email address are right there. You can get a hold of me pretty much anytime during the week or over the weekend via email, especially. So don't hesitate. If there's any questions, please go ahead and ask them. One question that I see here that I want to answer is, what happens after 10 years? That's a pretty good question. After 10 years, you would have a number of options to you. Obviously, the first option would be to renew a new triple net lease with our company. We would be willing to offer you a new triple net lease at that point. We would renegotiate that triple net lease at that time with you. If that's something that you want to continue doing, that would be an option to you at that time. Another option would be to sell the property. Obviously, you could sell the property either to an owner-occupant. There may even be an opportunity to sell the property to the tenant that's in place, or sell the property to another real estate investor. We are a fully licensed real estate brokerage, so we can also assist you in selling that property. A third option to you would be to just simply hire a normal property management company to manage that property for you. Because most of our investors are out of state, managing the property themselves is not typically an option. But there are a number of professional property management companies in the area who simply manage property for a fee, and that would be another option to you. So, you have a number of options at that time, and the nice thing is over a 10-year span, it's likely that you'll also build a decent amount of equity in the house and appreciation, even at a modest clip of appreciation over that 10-year period. Let's see, we have another question here. What is the strength of and guarantee on the triple net lease? Well, all I can basically give you on that is our track record. We have been offering triple net leases since 2007. We currently have approximately 150 triple net leases in place with investors from across the country. Every one of those triple net leases is in good standing. We have never missed a triple net lease payment to one of our investors. I'd be happy to provide anybody that would like them references to current investors who'd be more than happy to talk to you about their experience with triple net houses. We also do have a setup in place to where we're able to make those payments directly on the due date every month. And like I said, I'd be happy to provide anybody with any references that anybody might be looking for. Feel free to call me or email me, and I can shoot you a list of references pretty much immediately. Another question, can we sell prior to 10 years is the question. Yes, you certainly can. The lease is written up in such a way that you as the property owner do have the right to terminate that lease early if you choose. So at any point during that 10-year period, if you choose to terminate the lease, all that we ask is that you give us a 60-day notice of your intention to do so, and there will be no penalty to you at that point for terminating the lease. We will, terminate the lease without penalty to you, and that way, if you need to sell the property or if you want to simply start managing the property yourself or have somebody manage it for you, whatever your choice is. But yes, to answer your question, you can terminate the lease early if you choose. Okay, let's see. Can you comment on 2% closing costs paid by the seller? Yes. The seller basically, the lenders limit seller contributions to 2% of the purchase price. So what we do is that we will actually offer the maximum, which is 2% of the purchase price. So for example, if you're purchasing a $75,000 property, the seller will pay up to $1,500 in closing costs. Anything above and beyond that $1,500 would be the responsibility of the buyer. But it's just another added benefit of dealing with triple net houses that we try to get you a good portion of those closing costs paid at closing. Obviously, closing costs will vary from lender to lender, and typically on a cash deal, the 2% is more than enough to pay all the closing costs. The only time that you would really ever have any additional closing costs out of pocket on your expense would be if you were financing the property and you had certain fees associated with the setup of that loan on the property. Okay, I want to just see if there's any other questions out there. Go ahead and submit them now if you, okay, here, we do have a couple more questions. Are loans non-recourse? No, if you were to get financing on a property, you know, there really is no access these days to non-recourse loans. So it would be a normal conventional loan, just it would be on investment property versus owner-occupied. And the reason that, part of the reason that they're requiring 20% or 25% down is because it is investment property versus owner-occupied. But there basically is no access these days to non-recourse loans. That's a market that is pretty much dried up due to everything that's happened in the industry lately. Another question is how many houses do you have available and ready right now to sell? As far as available and ready that are finished through renovation, we have, I believe, 3 or 4 houses. We have another 8 to 10 that are either in some phase of renovation or getting ready to be renovated. So I would say anybody that's interested, you know, we have probably about 14, 15 houses right now that we would be able to close either immediately or within the next 2 to 3 months. Because, again, typically from start to finish, we can have renovations completed in about 30 to 45 days at most. So even if the house had not been touched yet and somebody were interested in the property, we put it under contract tomorrow, we would have that house ready by either late May or sometime early to mid-June for completion and closing. Somebody has a question on pricing. If you've got individual, you know, specific questions on pricing on individual houses that you see in the tour today, go ahead and give me a call. I'll be happy to go through any pricing-related questions, also questions as far as what the renovations may entail on that property. Go ahead and give me a call or shoot me an email specific to any property, and I'll try to get you whatever information you're looking for as far as that's concerned. All right, I don't see any more questions, so I want to move on and just basically thank everybody for attending today. Again, you know, any questions that you weren't able to ask during the online portion today, feel free to go ahead and give me a call or shoot me an email. I'd be happy to provide any information or answer any questions that anybody has. Again, keep in mind that our houses do sell fairly quickly, so anybody, if you are interested in anything that you saw on the tour today, go ahead and get in contact with me as soon as possible, and I'd be happy to get you whatever detail you're looking for on those houses. Thanks for taking the time today to sit in on our webinar. This is something that we do about every 1 to 2 weeks. Anytime we have a new batch of inventory and anything new, exciting, we try to get a webinar out there. So stay tuned for future webinars, and I look forward to seeing you guys and talking with all of you soon. Thank you.